I barely know what day it is when there isn't a quarantine, so we're throwing away the idea of Taco Tuesday, and we're having Breakfast Taco Friday with chef and restaurateur Neal Brown. Good morning, Neal.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. Yourself?
Well, I miss you.
Oh, stop it. But I get to see you. All right, here's the deal. I have not actually intentionally sought out your Facebook Lives. I've just stumbled upon them and go, well, there goes the next half hour to hour. So I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's different, right? It's kind of fun, actually. Yeah.
So are you keeping busy because idle hands are the devil's plaything, or just for your mental state to keep your skills sharp, or this is just who you are and what you do?
Well, it is just kind of who I am and what I do. But the reality of it is I have to eat dinner. And so why not just video that and get some pleasure out of interacting with people? And so, yeah, that's kind of why I do it.
Well, I've appreciated you answering my questions on Facebook this week. So a breakfast taco, we could take it to the next level, right?
Yeah, I think so. So like this is like an Austin, Texas staple. And what I've been trying to do so much is like just cook things that I have in the house, because none of us are trying to go to the store all that much now. So I'm just kind of like piecemealing things, like I think a lot of people are in their own homes. Mm-hmm. So like, these are just kind of things that I have laying around. Like for instance, I'm not going to use cotija cheese for my taco. I'm going to use feta because it's very similar. It's salty. It's a hard cheese. And it's just very similar. So, I'm not going to use like fresh jalapenos. I've got pickled jalapenos. So what I've done here is cooked off a little bit of bacon. This is probably not typical of most houses, but we make our own bacon. And I just got this from the restaurant.
Sure.
And so, but use a little bit of bacon. I sauteed it off so it's nice and sort of brown in the oven. And then I'm using the fat from the bacon to toast my tortillas.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And I put a little bit of cheddar cheese between two tortillas, almost like a gordita. I'm going like trashy, delicious. Right?
Exactly.
So I've got a couple tortillas going here with cheese melting between the two of them, and I'm pretty excited for that, actually. So I'm going to put a little bit of salsa on here, and this is just a quick salsa. It's literally some onion and some tomato and a little bit of serrano chili, and a little squeeze of lime, because lime is great, and a little bit of salt. And I'm going to let the salt's going to start to pull the moisture out of these tomatoes. And basically, this is like a salsa crudo. It's literally some diced tomatoes, some onion, some lime juice, and some serrano chili, and it's very simple, and it's going to be delicious. And it adds like a freshness to the taco, which I think is important, because it's a pretty rich taco in the sense that we're going to have this cheese on here. Let me pull this out now because the cheese is nice and melty. It looks pretty great, actually.
Oh yeah, there you
go. And then, so I've got my bacon, and I'm going to take this egg here. I'm just going to do a quick scramble. Like a really quick scramble on this.
I don't want to sound all Pollyanna about a global pandemic, but do you think this is an opportunity for people to sort of, because they're using what they have in their pantries, in their cupboards, to sort of stretch their minds in terms of making substitutions, and that's okay if it's what you happen to have? You don't have to have the ingredient list verbatim?
I absolutely do. In fact, I'm hearing that from a lot of people. The vast majority of the questions that people are asking me are about substitutions, things that they can use in place of things that I'm using that they just don't have. So, I think people are becoming resourceful. And I would also say that I think people are becoming more creative cooks, because they're sort of coerced into it a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly. My daughter went to the pantry last night. She found some brown rice. She went to the fridge. She found some fresh vegetables, which was surprising to me. And she put together a little fried rice stir fry for her brother. I was very proud of her.
I mean, that's kind of what's happening, right? It's kind of the new reality. And, if there's one silver lining with all of this, it's that I think people are going to be in the kitchen more. Mm-hmm. And I do think that's going to be apparent. I think people are just going to be cooking more, which is great. I'm glad for that. As a restaurateur, that's a little, but.
But I also think there's going to be the equivalent. So many people are gushing over the educators and the teachers because they've had to take on that mantle with their children. I think people, when the restaurants open back up, will appreciate your expertise more because they tried it themselves and maybe they had limited levels of success, but they'll understand what goes into the dishes that come out of your kitchens.
Yeah, I think that's going to be another side effect of it. I do think that there's going to be a different level of appreciation for restaurants when this is over, because let's face it, none of us have been able to go to restaurants now for almost a month.
Right.
And I know that I'm really missing restaurants. I eat out a lot, and I miss them a lot. So I think most people feel that way too.
What are the last couple things you added there?
So I just chopped up my bacon and just into slices. Put my bacon on. I had some churro beans that I made a couple days ago that are basically like just stewed beans with onion and garlic. And then I've got my feta in place of my cojita cheese and some pickled jalapeno, and that's my breakfast.
That is amazing.
Well, I hope it's delicious.
Fantastic. I think it's going to be. Hey, quickly, you want to talk about your foundation? I know you've been doing some meals for some first responders, frontline workers, things of that nature.
Yep. So I started a foundation. I had some time, of course, and so I've been focusing that energy on sort of re-energizing my foundation. And so we are going to be writing some grant applications to fund this foundation, which will go to help hospitality workers that are going to be facing mental health issues, and just general wellness, as well as helping them fund sort of financial planning, how to come out of this. So we've got some partners that we're going to be working with. They're going to be providing these services low cost or free, and we will try to pick up the cost to the extent that we can. So, the unforeseen, the yet to be seen sort of circumstances around this pandemic for hospitality workers is going to be sort of the emotional and mental health part. And I hope it's not bad, but we want to be ready for if that does
Exactly.
happen. Yeah.
Thanks for thinking of others in your industry, coming up with a foundation. Thank you for your auction donation to our Hoosiers Helping Hoosiers. That was tremendous on your part. That was amazing.
I'm so stoked.
Thank you for your time today. One more little favor. If you could take a picture of that taco, maybe a couple, and send them to executive producer Janine so we can put it on our social media later. And we'll make sure people know. Neal J. Brown on Instagram. Are you cooking tonight on Facebook?
I will be cooking tonight. It's Friday, so we're doing pho.
Man, I'm glad you stopped. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right.
Bye.
Stay safe.